All right, let's talk about NXT. For years, it's been WWE's ultimate proving ground, right? It's where the future is forged. But on one absolutely wild night recently, that entire foundation wasn't just shaken, it was blown to pieces. And that's really the big question we're going to dig into. What happens when a system just goes into a total freefall? When every single superstar is out for themselves and all the rules just get thrown right out the window? Because, even when everything is pure chaos, there's always one thing everyone is chasing. And in NXT, that is championship gold. For some folks, this night was just about pure survival. So let's do a quick rundown of who actually managed to hang on to power. Jasper Troy, an absolute monster, managed to retain the WWE Speed Championship. And then you've got Channing Stax Lorenzo, who somehow, through all the chaos, held on to his TNA International title. They made it through the storm. For now, at least. And this quote right here from Stax, man, it just perfectly sums up the mindset you need to have. It's not just about being the better fighter, it's about seeing the traps before you walk into them. He said it himself. He survives because he thinks faster and plans longer. In this new NXT jungle, it's not the strongest who wins, it's the smartest predator.
So, yeah, a couple of champions managed to hold their ground, but the biggest throne in all of NXT is now empty. The NXT Championship has been officially vacated, and that has created a massive power vacuum right at the very top. So how do you fix a problem like that? Well, if you're the general manager, Ava, you don't fix it. You lean into the chaos. She announced that on February 3rd, we are getting a 6-superstar ladder match to crown the new NXT Knockouts champion. The qualifying matches start next week, so the race to the top is officially underway. But here's the thing about a power vacuum. It doesn't just attract the people you expect. It's like a giant spotlight, pulling in brand new, totally unpredictable forces. And that is exactly what we saw happen. And his arrival was not exactly quiet. As pretty much the entire roster was in the middle of this massive brawl, this new, unknown face just strolls into the picture with one simple goal: cause as much destruction as humanly possible. Look, Keanu Carver didn't just show up to the party, he was the party. He just systematically tore through the entire field, one superstar after another. And as you can see, when all the dust finally settled, he was the only one left standing. A message was sent loud and terrifyingly clear. So if Carver is a wrecking ball just smashing through the front door, then Tony D'Angelo, well, he's more like a ghost moving through the walls. He kept popping up all night long, and every time he did, he just left everyone with more questions than answers. I mean, his actions made absolutely no sense. At one point, he randomly helps Joe Hendry win a match by dragging him on top of his opponent. Then later, he's viciously attacking the security team that works for his own general manager. There's no pattern here, no obvious loyalty. He's a total enigma. The commentary team basically asked the question that was on everyone's mind. What is this guy's deal? What's his endgame? We have no idea. And you know what? That makes him one of the most dangerous players on this entire chaotic chessboard. But the chaos wasn't just about championships or new guys showing up. Oh no. It also got deeply, deeply personal, as some rivalries that had been simmering for a long time finally just exploded. And this was a perfect example. You had two of NXT's brightest rising stars just going to war. It was one of those matches where they knew each other so well, every move had a counter. But this wasn't about technique. It was driven by pure, raw animosity. And the ending was just brutal. After this incredible back and forth, Lola Vice hits this absolutely devastating back fist and gets the win. The commentary really said it all. It was a violent, decisive finish to that chapter of their story. And it seemed like everywhere you looked, patience had just run out. While another superstar was in the middle of talking, Jada Parker just decided she was done listening. She marched right out there and started throwing hands, proving that in this new NXT, actions speak way, way louder than words. So here's the thing. Brawls are one thing. Intense matches are another. But there are still supposed to be some lines you just don't cross. At least there used to be. Tatum Paxley just completely snapped. She fought her way through a wall of security just to get her hands on her rival, Izzy Dame. But in the middle of all that chaos, she did the one thing you can't do. She put her hands on a WWE official. That is a line you do not cross, and it just signaled a total breakdown of any sense of order or authority.
So after all the fights, all the betrayals, and all the brutal moments, what are we actually left with? Well, we're left with an NXT that looks completely different than it did before. It's totally transformed. Let's just recap the situation. The biggest prize in the game is up for grabs. You've got a destructive new force in Keanu Carver and a complete mystery in Tony D'Angelo running around. Personal rivalries are at a boiling point. And the idea of loyalty, forget about it. It's gone. This is the new normal. Which really just leaves us with one last huge question. When there are no rules, no alliances you can trust, and no clear path forward, who's going to thrive in that environment? Is it the strongest, the smartest, or just the most chaotic? The future of NXT is a blank page, and it is going to be a wild ride watching to see who grabs the pen.